In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to create an observation in Safety Mojo, log it into the system, and then send out a corrective action notice to one or more subcontractors. We're going to assume at this point you've already logged into the system, whether that's via Google Chrome on your smartphone, your tablet, or your desktop, or the Safety Mojo app. When you're at the observation screen, the first thing you will do is click Observation. Now, for those of you who are assigned to a project, the division and project will already be pre-assigned. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to be using Test Project, and my observed party will be Test Company number 1. Now, you choose your category. Your category is basically what's happening out there, good or bad. This mirrors our SFT27 form, and we've added a few categories to this. For example, we've added barricades, we've added concrete construction. That's where you'd put exposed rebar, for example. We've broken out cranes into mobile and tower cranes, as we will have tower cranes at least 2 projects in the near future. We've added floor holes. We're going to be installing a lot of concrete and steel deck over the next couple of years. It's an important thing, and when we're referencing floor holes, or anything for that matter on the project, please be sure to reference the nearest column line so people know where the issue is. As I continue to scroll down, you'll see we have a not otherwise classified category. We really don't want to use this one unless we really have to. We really want to try to categorize in one of the areas, because that's going to help us with trending what is occurring out there too. We've added a category for reports. For example, a contractor owes us an incident report. We can actually create an observation in Safety Mojo, send a corrective action, and include a blank copy of the incident report for their use. Broken out signs, submittals. We can use this for submittal reminders as well. And we've added a category here called safety violation. And this is for those situations that you'd normally use a violation notice. You have an employee who perhaps just isn't following the rules. If we're using the safety violation category, we want to make sure that we're getting that person's number from their orientation sticker on their hard hat and recording that here. We don't necessarily want to use names. The number will help us, and by categorizing it as a safety violation, it will be very easy for us to go back and create a list of people with violations. So for the purposes of this example, I'm going to use concrete construction. Your next choice is it an act, something that someone did or is doing, or a condition? For example, housekeeping would be a condition, improper ladder use would be an act. Not wearing safety glasses would be an act. Not having secondary containment under drums of form oil would be a condition. So, as we go through this example, we're going to say that we have exposed vertical rebar. It's a condition, it's bad. Enter your comments here. Exposed rebar at C2 and E4 lines. Next, you can attach an image. Now, you don't have to attach an image, but it's preferable that you can when you do have an image. Click Choose File, and it may actually ask you if you want to choose it from your camera or location. In this case, I'm working off a computer, so it's actually going to my computer files. I don't know that I have any exposed rebar here, but we're going to take a picture that shows a sewage pumping station under construction. We're going to describe it. I'm going to say this has a lot of rebar. At that point, if there's nothing else to add, no additional images, click Submit Observation. This logs the observation in the system. At this point, here's my summary. It was me. Here's when I did it. It was test project, test company number 1. Category was concrete construction. It was a condition and it was bad. We had exposed rebar, and it's actually interesting that I picked a picture of a round project. If you'd like to add another comment at this point in time, you can do that here. Also, this is where you can add an attachment as opposed to adding a picture. So, for example, if we would like to get a near miss report from the contractor, or they owe us an SFTO1 incident report, we can actually attach the file at this point in time, and then click Submit Comment when you're done. To demonstrate that, I'm going to say Test Comment, and work with me here. I'm going to attach a picture instead of a file, but you can see how it works. And then click Submit Comment. At this point, if we want to add corrective action, or in other words, assign it to a contractor or send it to the contractor to document that they've corrected it, click the Add Corrective Action on Observation button. This takes us to a new screen. You'll see your division and your project populated here. None does nothing. It just logs the correction in the system. Resolved sends a notice to the contractor but does not ask or allow them to respond. So in other words, you go out, the contractor has a housekeeping issue. By the time you get back and see it 10 minutes later, it's cleaned up. So you might want to send them a notice saying, you had a housekeeping issue, you resolved it, this is your notice. Now, if it's not resolved and they still have to fix the issue, or you would like a response from the contractor, click Not Resolved. Add a comment such as, please respond when corrected. And then you have to select your recipients. Now, the recipients are in 3 categories. For people who you want to get a direct copy of the email, that's under the Recipients tag. System users, that's all of us in the system from the Westfield side. And if you start to type in initials, a name will pop up, and you'll also notice that this is a drop down. You'll see the same drop down on your phone or on your tablet. So everybody in there is here from our side. System email addresses, this is everybody who's received an email through the system. So as more people are used, more people will show up in here. So I'm going to send it to a test email that I've created called Kurt Westfield Test. That's pretty creative. You can also manually enter an email address here. So if someone's not in the system and you need to say joe@abc.com, you can type in their address here. If you want to copy people, very much the same screen that we had above. System users, system email addresses, manual addresses. And to email it to a contractor, we've actually pre-populated some contractor information in the system. If you have questions about this, see your project administrator. Again, this has a drop down. So we're looking for test co number 1. And that would assign and send to test company number 1, the people that are in the system. At that point, submit corrective action on observation. Now, if you would like to send the same notice to 2 contractors, for example, you've got housekeeping in an area and you know there are at least 2 contractors responsible for it. At this point, click Add Corrective Action again, repeat the steps, and in the recipients or email subcontractors area, this is where you can send the same notice out to a different contractor without having to retype the notice. We hope this has helped you in your Safety Mojo endeavors. Thanks for looking.